All right, guys. So while you guys are getting warmed up and sending us all your questions right now on the live chat, I'm just going to address the coronavirus situation in New Zealand because obviously we are receiving a lot of questions about that at the moment. So I don't want to act like crazy medias that are just running sensational stories. I'm just going to give you the information straight away from the Ministry of Health of New Zealand as well as from Immigration New Zealand, just to know what is the situation in New Zealand and also how does it affect you as a traveler. So let's get started with the Ministry of Health. So the COVID-19 novel coronavirus. There are currently outbreaks overseas of a new disease called COVID-19. This section provides the latest updates and information advice on COVID-19. All right, let's go over the current situation in New Zealand. The fifth case of COVID-19 has been confirmed in New Zealand. With continued vigilance, the chance of widespread community outbreak is expected to remain low. People coming into New Zealand should check our information for travelers arriving to New Zealand, as they may be subject to border control or asked to self-isolate. We will cover that in a minute. We're also asking people who have visited countries or areas of concern and who have been developing symptoms of fever, cough, shortness of breath to seek medical advice. The phone health line dedicated to the COVID-19 number, and that's just for New Zealand, it's 0800 358 5453. You can also contact your GP, which is general practitioner, and you can also call them ahead before your visit, which is always a bit better. All right, so only 5 cases in New Zealand is not that bad. We're doing well. All right, advice for travelers. All right, so basic principles to avoid from the World Health Organization. So while you've been traveling and also when you are, keep on changing environment and everything, here's how to avoid getting the virus. Avoid close contact with people suffering acute respiratory infections. Wash your hands frequently, especially after contact with ill people or their environment. Avoid contact with sick farm animals or wild animals. And maintain distance, basically, if you see anyone that's coughing and everything. All right, so if you are a New Zealander currently overseas, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade urge all New Zealanders living in, visiting, or traveling to mainland China, Iran, Northern Italy, or the Republic of Korea to register on the Safe Travel website. This means that they're going to receive information and updates. For travelers that recently returned from mainland China or Iran, the government has announced temporary restrictions on travelers arriving in New Zealand from mainland China or Iran as a precautionary measure to protect against the spread of COVID-19. Now, that also means that if your flight is transiting through mainland China, then you are actually restricted. So be aware of that. If you are planning to come to New Zealand, try to pick another route. The restrictions prevent foreign nationals traveling or transiting through mainland China or Iran from entering New Zealand. This measure will be in place until Tuesday, 10th of March at this stage, and that will be reviewed every 48 hours. This is expected to be extended again very soon. People who are exempt from the temporary restrictions are New Zealand citizens, including the 3 countries of the realm, which is Tokelau, Niue, and the Cook Islands, and also permanent residents and their family. Australian citizens are exempted, and air crews, if they have been using the proper protective equipment. And people which are exempt from these restrictions, so even New Zealanders which are coming to New Zealand, are requested to self-isolate for 14 days after their return. Self-isolation means you should avoid situations that could facilitate the transmission of the virus, such as social gathering and events like concerts, where you can come into contact with others, in particular child, pre-care, school, and older people. If you recently traveled or returned from Northern Italy or the Republic of Korea, you should self-isolate for 14 days after the return. And that's basically it. In short, don't bother with Italy, Korea, and China, and just focus on coming straight to New Zealand. A good port of transfer is Dubai. It's quite popular in the Emirates as a big transfer, so just fly through here.
You could also go via the US as well.
Yeah, you can
Los
also
Angeles,
go via the US.
if you're coming from Europe.
Yeah, I'm just looking if there's anything else important because I don't want to bore you for too long. But no, that is pretty much it. So don't transit through Iran's mainland China. And also there is actually a section about the Diamond Princess cruise ship, but I guess this does not really apply to many people. But if you were a passenger or the crew on the Diamond Princess cruise ship, you have to self-isolate for 14 days, and then you can request to come into New Zealand. So here you go. That's the situation as of this week on the coronavirus affecting travelers in New Zealand. As per how New Zealand is going right now, it's pretty much day to day. There is a bit less travelers in the country, that's for sure, because there is less travel and less of that. So we have seen a little bit of a difference, but that just means that most of the tours and the activities are a bit less crowded. So as a traveler there, it's pretty good. And I don't think that's going to affect you too much as long as you don't transfer between your flight. Like if you have a transfer through mainland China, then at that point, definitely change your flight. If you have one through Iran, change your flight. And if you have been to northern Italy, that's bad luck because I think you're going to have a hard time coming into New Zealand. But that's pretty much it. Otherwise, we haven't seen, like being in New Zealand, right? There is no panic or anything. Don't trust the media. It's absolutely fine. There only been 5 cases. And that's pretty much it. All right. If you have any questions of your own, put them in the comments below, and we're here to answer all your questions every week.